Good morning, everybody. It's Into Thin Air. It is September 5th, 2017, about 6:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have you on a satellite image right now of Irma making its approach. Bands are hitting the Leeward Islands. They have been putting out warnings and watches for Puerto Rico, San Juan, St. Thomas, all the way up through the Dominican Republic, already into Cuba. The mayor of Florida, or the governor of Florida, has issued a state of emergency due to this storm. I'm sure some of you may have heard that last night. I was going to put an update out last night, but I saw a lot of channels were making videos. I wanted to let a little more time pass so I can give you some newer information so you're not constantly hearing the same stuff over and over. So, like I said, I got you here on a satellite image. These are updated images. You can see the bands are starting to hit the Leeward Islands. And guys, this thing is now a Category 4 storm. It shifted last night, and I'm pretty confident we are going to see a Category 5 in the next 12 to 18 hours. Now, this is what's going to determine the path, guys. Now, this is what the thoughts are right now. Actually, let me bring you to Ventusky first. Here we go. Here's our normal setup I've been showing you over the last 4 or 5 days. Here's Tuesday, as of right now today. Here is Wednesday the 6th. Here is Thursday. Now, there was some disagreement in this day, too. Some of the models have it moving a little faster, being past Santo Domingo at this point. Again, it's moving west at 14 miles an hour. Guys, once it passes Puerto Rico, they're expecting this thing to have winds upwards of 180 miles an hour. That is ground winds. I'm not talking about 1,500 meters up. Right now I'm set at 10 meters above. This thing isn't showing those projected winds. It was more in this area. But guys, this thing is still in very warm water and could develop into a Cat 5. I'm expecting it to, like I said, 12 to 18 hours. We need to keep an eye on Jose behind it. Actually, really quick, let's move forward. Here's Friday the 8th. Here's the 9th. Just under the Bahamas. Alright, so now the 10th, they have this thing at the southern tip of Florida. Now, this is what I want you guys to pay attention to. By all means, people in Florida, you need to be prepared for this. This is not a joke. Whether or not this Hurricane Irma, hooks north and goes towards the Carolinas, or if it stays shallow and goes up through the southern tip of Florida, people in southern Florida, all over the East Coast, need to be prepared for this, as well as the islands down here. Puerto Rico, you need to be ready. It's on its way. Dominican Republic, Cuba, Bahamas, and then, of course, a lot of talk of Miami on the news. Guys, these are major storms. These are not something to take lightly. We can't let what happened in Harvey happen again. If we can avoid it, people need to be aware of what's going on. Okay, now... Okay, actually, I want to show you that later. That was her. Actually, let's look at it now. This was Hurricane Irene back in 2011. I just want you guys to see some of these paths they take. Now, look how low below the Leeward Islands this hurricane was when it decided to go north and up in towards New York. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen now. Yes, that's what I had in earlier videos. That's what the data was showing me. I'm more concerned with North and South Carolina at this point, as well as Florida. Don't get me wrong. I definitely have Florida in warnings, but I just think, I have a feeling the jet stream is going to come in a little quicker than expected, and it's going to allow the hurricane to go north. Right now, if we look at the jet stream, hopefully this is big enough. Let me zoom in for you guys a little bit here. There we go. Now I want you to see how they animate the jet stream over time. Are they really not going to let me do that now? Okay, 1 second. Go back to 100. Now they'll let me play it. Okay, so I'm going to move forward in time. If you notice, here's our jet stream. Up, it goes in from Canada, down, swoops into the mid-US, and then out. Now watch, over time... I'll just refresh it, guys. Sorry about that. For some reason, it made me stop. So here's the animation. You can see Irma down here. This red area are high pressure zones, which means it's being forced down. Let me hit pause back up for you. See, this is where they don't know what's going to happen yet, because they don't know how the jet stream and the high pressure in the Atlantic is going to affect the path. Now, it's agreed upon that this thing is moving west at about 14 miles an hour. There it is over the islands coming up Puerto Rico, and now under the Bahamas and right around Cuba. Now this is where I want you guys to pay attention. See how the jet stream here loops down really far? Now they're all trying to figure out when exactly that's going to happen, because what that is doing, pause again, I'm going to go step by step. Here's the dip here. Now they're expecting this dip to be the reason the hurricane stays down in this area. And you can see this red area is high pressure caused by this. It's like almost like it's like a force field, I want to say. So anyway, it's moving west. There's the jet stream holding it down. Now as that deep loop passes, you'll notice it's now upwards. So that's going to allow Irma to start heading north, and that's why they're deciding. They keep saying this is going to take a northern approach. That's because the jet stream is going to open up and allow it to move. Now it all depends on when that's going to happen. The jet stream speed can change, so if this downward loop passes quicker than expected, that means Irma will be about here once this area is opened up and allows it to move up. So there's still a chance that this thing may not even clip Florida and may just go right up the East Coast into South and North Carolina. Now, if that's the case, we need to really pay attention to the strength of it, because it may hit, I said before, I think it's going to hit Category 5 by the time it gets to Puerto Rico in these warm waters. Now, if it doesn't hit these islands to give it a chance to slow down before it hits Florida, I'm saying it's going to be an East Coast turn, and it's going to go up to North and South Carolina. So guys, we really need to focus on that and be educated on this stuff every couple hours now. Once a day is still okay, but I would be checking this every few hours. Not just my channel, but all the channels offering information. Just move through the jet stream really quick. High pressure zones, keeping it down into the islands. High pressure, high pressure. And then right around now is when this loop passes and allows the hurricane to make a decision to go north. Now, will it be here at this time, or will it be over here? So if the northern approach is under Florida, we're looking right through southern Florida, and then maybe through and up into the Carolinas. It could stay inland and break up. Or, like I said, the jet stream could pass quicker while the hurricane is here, and this thing could still ride up the East Coast. That's why I had this model of Irma, because I don't know if you guys remember, I did some research, and Irene was affected by our jet stream, and it allowed it to hook north. It was actually predicted to go through Florida just like this one is. And guys, I'm not saying that this is exactly what's going to happen. I'm saying it's happened in the past, and you know, it's too close to the jet stream to really know for sure yet. So the next 48 hours, very important. Guys, Puerto Rico on major alert. You guys need to get ready for this storm, water, whatever it is you guys need to do to not be caught up in the same stuff as Harvey. I mean, gas, water, just the simple things people need in life. You just don't think about it until it's almost too late. Here's another version of the jet stream. This is an animated loop. You can see still the similar loop coming down. It's all timing. It's how fast Irma's traveling, how fast this jet stream gets out of the way will determine when this hurricane turns north. This is the next red satellite. I believe I showed this to you guys. Outer bands hitting the Leeward Islands. Okay, and also, before I forget, there's a cool video posted on Twitter. The address is here. I'll also post this link. This is actually the first airplane that went into Irma, so they can get their sensory data, which is giving us our updated data right now. Really cool video. It's a time lapse of them flying right into the storm. Okay, now let me get some pictures down here. So just so you're up to date on these wind speeds, guys, Category 1, 74 to 95 miles an hour, 2, 96 to 110, Category 3, 111 to 130, Category 4, which is where we are right now, is 131 to 155, and Category 5, which I think this thing will hit within a day, or at least by the time it gets to Puerto Rico, we will have our strongest winds, 155 plus, guys. I'm getting readings of 180 miles an hour ground winds. Okay, I mean, hey, guys, it is what it is. This is a major storm. All the news stations are saying this is now a major concern. Southern Florida, North and South Carolina. Guys, we just don't know where this thing's gonna go. Also, side note, maybe a little humor here. I'm watching the Weather Channel, and this commercial pops up right in the middle of a hurricane update, and they're advertising Hurricane Fur Wizard, some sort of product. Talk about product placement, right? Unreal. Took a picture of the moon last night. Sorry, that wasn't meant for this video. Okay, here is tropical storm force wind speed probabilities. So, like I said, guys, once we get to Puerto Rico, we can see these are our strongest winds. This is where the eye is expected to be of this storm. The eye wall are the strongest of the thunderstorms and the strongest of the winds. Wave churning is going to be a huge issue here. They're already talking about the waves being 20 plus feet in this area. I've been getting estimates about 20 plus inches of rain if this thing were to hit southern Florida with just the precipitation it has now. That's not including what it's going to pick up on its way towards Florida in these warm waters. Okay, and I also wanted to bring this up to you guys here on the data for Irene back in 2011. I want you to notice wind speed here. So a lot of well, it's a fact that the warm water is what strengthens these hurricanes. Now look, I want you to see, as this thing made a northerly shift, we were at 125, and then it actually jumped up in speed. Now yes, these waters here are a little bit warmer as you stay south, but just to let you know, guys, that it doesn't take a strong storm to affect the East Coast. These do not have to be massive storms. Sandy was not a massive storm. But guys, we're looking at a Category 5, okay? I'm not even going to touch up on this Category 6 deal because obviously it's never happened, so we don't have it recorded. I don't know how much truth there is to that. We're just going to have to wait and see. All I do know is that the data is showing that we are going to expect 180 mile per hour winds with this thing. So guys, regardless, if this thing turns off into the ocean, that would be amazing, but everybody needs to be aware of this storm and what it's capable of. I mean, we are talking Hurricane Andrew type strength here, and we don't know where it's going yet. Yes, the models are showing a Florida landfall. I'm still confident that the jet stream will pass by and this thing will hook north before that, maybe skimming the east coast of Florida, and then the Carolinas are going to be the main concern. Don't quote me on this, Florida. You need to be prepared for this. All of Florida. I mean, look at this, guys. The 11th, this thing's dead center Florida. Doesn't matter where you are in Florida, you need to be ready for this, especially along the coast with these waves. These waves are becoming very significant. Storm surge is very significant. And then, guys, then we got to worry about Jose. So, you know, it's time to buckle down, get ready. This is reality, and this is what we have to deal with, and we're all in it together. So, guys, I just want to thank you for listening this morning. I'm going to have an update later on this afternoon. I want to say around 1, 2 o'clock. It will happen this time. Again, I just wanted to let some time pass before I just regurgitated info to all of you who are probably dealing with system overload at this point. I am myself, but, you know, we can sleep later. This is very important. We need to warn everybody. The entire East Coast is still on alert for this storm. The northern hook will determine what we have going on next. Guys, thank you so much. I will be in touch. Have a great day.